isn't that what you had?
Contrary to popular opinion, I'm the head nigger in charge. King Kong ain't got shit on me.
And when you look at the credit,
Yeah.
the girlies are there.
Good Times was just always, it just felt too sad every time. I was like, they keep calling it Good Times, but like every episode is like, Lord, where's the money?
And that's friends in real life.
You
Yeah, well, goodness. Hello, everybody. What's going on? Salutations, etc. I'm like, I guess we said that was the last episode, and yet here we are again.
I know. Because we were like I was, thinking back over the season
Yeah.
and just, listening to our past episodes and laughing. It's funny when people make comments to me about the podcast or things that they found really funny or really good about it.
Yeah.
I feel the need to go back and listen because I now need to hear what they heard, even though I already know what they heard, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So it's like, it's one thing when you're recording it and then, we do the little playback for figuring out where we need to edit and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I get comments from, people who've listened and they're like, oh my God, that part when you guys were talking about such and such, I was dying. And so I have to go back and hear it how they heard it in a sense.
Yeah.
So, while I was doing that, I was like, I think it would be really cute if we did little recap episodes of, some of our standout moments.
Mm-hmm.
And, just to let people know that we actually do talk about this stuff and it's entertaining for me, at least, to see how entertaining we are to other people.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've been hearing, because also we dropped a bunch of episodes. The episodes are not short, and so I think we're dropping it the way that I think people consume projects now, which is that sometimes they'll binge it, sometimes they'll kind of listen at their leisure. And so as a result, I've been hearing a lot of more feedback lately. Oh yeah, I got to episode 6 or I got to this one and they really like it, or you guys are just so funny, or I could listen to you guys talk, or all those things, which are really nice because, we've been friends for so long. We just talk like this anyway. And so I think being able to sort of, how you say, translate to people who maybe don't know us or do know us, but, are in a conversation with us as it's happening live. Is
right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's hilarious. So we did have a couple of, comments about our, I guess, technically what was our first episode, which was Skip Intro.
Yeah.
We kind of dropped it as a pilot. But just going back to it, I thought it was our first episode, but technically it is our pilot.
Yeah.
And we had some people who were just like, yo, you guys brought up all the good, theme songs. And then there were a couple that were mentioned that we had kind of forgotten about.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ones that jumped out to me way after the fact that we did not mention was the nanny.
Yeah. I don't know.
I
don't know how we skipped
that. Right. Our good sis from Flushing, Queens. That song is just a vibe.
No, it is. It's a vibe. And again, we talked about this on the pod. That episode is the vocals, she went for it. You know what I'm saying? She went for it.
And it had that really good, jazzy, almost Broadway
Yes.
musical-ish kind of sound to it.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But if you really listen to how they laid out the lyrics and everything, that song goes hard. I'm sorry.
Mhm. No, I agree. We dropped the ball there. We dropped the ball here. No, they killed it. And I'm smiling now because I can hear it. Like that's one of those theme songs. Like when all you have to do is say it, and I can hear it in my
Yep.
head. Like, and so yes, apologies to Fran Drescher and the rest.
Apologies to Fran Drescher. Apologies to Anne Hampton Calloway, who is the jazz singer that actually
Yep.
sings that song.
Yep.
She killed it. She
Because at
definitely
one
killed
point
it.
they were trying to say it was actually Fran Drescher singing it.
Okay, no.
But that was
Now we're doing too much.
that
Who
was
said
that was like one of those. I think like I'm about to say urban shoe myth, which is not the, the right term here, but it
no,
was,
baby, those are the Manolo
Yeah.
Mary things.
right. Nanny also wore no. It was one of those things that were showing up, in those like did you know things that show up on like social media that end up not being true.
Oh, God.
So I think it was one of those. Not to say that people, we've learned from that pod that people who are on the show do sing the theme song sometimes, but that is not the case here.
That is not one of these instances. And it's fine.
Yeah, we got it.
Fran Drescher has a whole story in and of itself when it comes to like things that she's done in real life outside of the nanny, and we will definitely get into it one day because I think she was like weirdly the victim of a serial killer or something, but
Okay.
ended up not dying. It's
What
crazy. But
in the true
well,
crime-
I know, my true crime world.
What are we talking about?
We will do an episode on this because I stumbled across that information on TikTok and it is fascinating. So we're on it, or I'm on it. We've got to talk about this at some point. But of all the things that are interesting about our good sis Franny,
Mhm.
her singing that theme song is not one of them. So
Two truths and a lie. Okay. She was on the nanny. She almost got killed by a serial killer. She sang the theme song for the nanny. Okay, well, look at that.
right. Heavy on the two truths and a lie.
Oh, we should do that as an episode. That might be fun.
Oh, absolutely.
That might be fun.
You know when we should do that? We should do that on our upcoming trip to Palm Springs.
Yes, we should. Yeah, well, interesting you brought Palm Springs up, and traveling, because it just made me think of, technically that was a different episode, but it was our actual episode 1, but how our friendship continues to move along the lines of how we met, like, travel, film, TV, fashion, parties, etc., social is like sort of the pillars of our friendship to begin with, right? Like, like, I don't remember if we talked about this in the episode, but one of the first things we did as friends or became friends is going to King of Prussia Mall. No, not King of Prussia, excuse me, going to Franklin Mills.
Franklin Mills, yeah.
Franklin Mills. And
which they call something completely different now.
Different now, right? Okay.
I'll never accept anything other than Franklin Mills, and no self-respecting Philadelphian should ever be calling it anything other than.
Yeah, when things get rebranded, we don't.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Like what? For Franklin Mills Mall, is it Philadelphia Mills now?
Yes. Ew.
Yeah.
If it's even still a thing, it might be closed all the way down.
Well, I just saw the Macy's closed in the gallery, I think, finally.
Yes.
I know.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing. It's just going, and they did a whole ceremony.
Yes.
The iconic organ, and I don't know what these kids are going to do come Christmas time when you have to go and see the light show. That is like a Philly kid's rites of passage. Like, you have to go to the Wanamaker building, as
Right.
we know it,
Correct.
to see the light show every Christmas and hear that organ play the Christmas music. It's such a Philly thing to do. So I've heard that, they might be keeping elements of that no matter who takes it
see.
over. Then I've also heard the whole thing is, going away. So I don't know what the future is for that. But yeah, that is a huge part of Philadelphia history that is coming to a close. And it's
Mhm.
kind of sad. I've been watching the footage from out here of people doing the whole little farewell thing. So
Yeah, it's sad. I mean that's a whole nother story about where our store is going and our traditions that are applied to it. Um, but
oh,
and it's funny because I feel like that's a trope for a Lifetime, a Hallmark movie, but it's actually true. It's like no, there is that special place
yes,
that what I mean, like it's not a small place that like you know some father from the city who moved to the suburbs owns, but it very much is a thing that is like, dang.
it's still wrapped up in all that nostalgia.
Huh?
Maybe that'll be the opening to my holiday rom-com. Me
Mm.
going back home trying to save the trying to save the Wanamaker building.
Yo, actually, Tristan, we gonna edit that out because that is a really good idea, and I feel like Graham,
Oh my
fresh
god.
off Simplicity, is ready to be in another thing. So
Oh my gosh.
don't
We're
do it and be upset when you see it out in the ether. Like
I know, right?
But no, what I was saying, oh yes, I was saying like travel was part of our thing, and like one of the first things we did was go to the Franklin Mills Mall and hang out there and whatnot. And so I think that like, yeah, going back to like the Palm Springs at all, like our friendship is still continuing in that way, where it's like we're exploring new cities, new places in cities. We're like doing little day trips. We're like doing weekend trips.
Yep.
Gathering with our other friends in real life.
Yeah, we have such a group out here
Mhm.
of people who, we're all transplants for the most part. I think there are a few LA natives sprinkled in there somewhere, but for the most part, everybody is like from somewhere else, has moved here. We found our little, community here, and we all pretty much like to do the same things. So it's nice to see, you know, our friendship branching off and like bringing more people in and engaging in the fun and the foolishness. And those are the people who've been also extremely supportive
Yeah.
of podcast
Yeah. Hmm.
and some of them have podcasts that,
Yep.
we listen to. And so it's really cute. It's really nice what we've done out here and what we've built out here. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, me too. I am looking forward to it, and really now that I feel like I have true like boots on the ground, so to speak. Uh, I feel like I can own living here and like explore a bit more and like do the fun things like the movie nights and all that jazz and stuff like that. Maybe even like get to a point where we do like live shows. Cough.
Hmm. I'm
So
preparing. I'm preparing
it's just like
mentally.
it's gonna be great. I think because that's one thing that's interesting. I ran into some people this weekend who also have a podcast, and they have a live one coming out next week, or they're filming one next week, I should say. And I was telling them, I'm going to pull up and whatnot. They're like, yeah, we love the podcast, but like, we got to see y'all face. We got to go visual. Like,
That's what everybody's
got to be
saying.
able to share. We want to be able to share like the little shorts and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I know. I was like, we're working on it. We will get there. But yeah, I just in general very proud and that people enjoy the pod and what we're talking about. So yeah, it's more to come on that. And speaking of people who did reach out about the episode, the pilot episode, one of my homies, shout out to Rob, who has Industry Perspective podcast. He did mention like, yeah, you guys, like I agreed with all the theme songs. Some of them I forgot about. He's like, but one that you guys didn't say was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the animated one. And I was
Such a
like,
good one.
that's a
You're
good
right.
one, and I was like, man, I can't believe like we forgot that. But again, there's so many, and we're talking about,
That was a good one.
but that's a really good one, right? Like,
Oh, and you know what else popped up?
hmm,
And this just came to me when you said Ninja Turtles. Do you remember a cartoon called Pepper Ann?
Yes, I sure do. I
Baby,
sure.
let me tell you something. That show was so good. And that theme song was crazy good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, so it's one of those ones where, again, the character, who in this case is an animated character, but in my mind, she's singing the song.
Right. Yeah.
And I think I'm right in that because if I'm not mistaken, the voice sounds the same. Like the voice of the character of Pepper Ann sounds like the same voice that's singing the song. So I always just assume that whoever is doing the voice is also singing the theme.
Yeah.
But Pepper Ann, much too cool for seventh grade. And let me tell you, that show needs to be back on. Where are the reruns of that? That needs to be streaming somewhere. I think that was a Disney. Was that Disney?
I feel like it was Disney because I feel like then it came. I feel like it was one of the shows that had like a resurgence on like ABC or something, like the way that they did with Doug. Like Doug was on Nickelodeon, and then suddenly it was on a different network.
Something else? Yeah.
I wonder if I had the same.
That show was so good. It was so ahead of its time. And I'm sure now, if I look at it, I'm going to be like, wow, there's all kinds of stuff in here that kids probably shouldn't have been exposed to, but such was the case with animated series back in the day. But yeah, that song used to get me so hyped for that show. And I totally forgot about it when we were talking about good animated theme songs the last time. So we should definitely throw that in there. Somebody else mentioned The Young and the Restless.
Oof. Yeah.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Iconic.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, again, no way. I was like, there's no singing in that song, right?
There's no singing.
It's just
It's all instrumental. Yep.
because I was like, what was the thing about those theme songs? Like there was talking in Days of Our Lives. I was also an NBC soap opera guy, so I watched both NBC and CBS. But
Really?
yeah, because
I never watched any of the other ones.
Yeah, I somehow got into Days of Our Lives, which was this whole like crazy. There was always some crazy plots there. I feel like this is a total side tangent, but let's do it. I feel like the CBS soap operas, which were like Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, I believe like Guiding Light, Loving. No, Loving was ABC, but like those ones were like they had drama, but they were like rooted in things that felt a little bit more, for lack of a better word, real. Whereas like Days of Our Lives had like people being possessed and like
yeah, that's what I think
evil twins and like and then like after that it was like Passions, and Passions was ridiculous. So,
utter foolishness.
but also a really bop of a theme song, if I'm being completely honest. Like,
really? Because I've never watched one episode of
you
Passions.
never watched an episode of Passions?
I came across Passions and saw like a leprechaun or something and was like, what is happening here? This is crazy. Like, take me back to Genoa City immediately. Yeah. Like, what?
Passions theme song. Breathe in, breathe out.
That is completely new to me. I've never heard.
When you look from Passions theme song, could have been like a song that was right alongside the hill. You know what I mean? Like it had that kind of,
wow,
early 2000s kind of. Yeah. Anyway, so sorry, tangent. But Young and the Restless goes up. That beat's insane.
It is insane. And Mary J. Blige knew it.
You said what now?
I said, if Mary J. Blige knew it, or whoever was behind,
Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis produced that one.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Listen, I remember once the season when that song came out, the award season for the daytime Emmys.
Yeah.
That song had made, I mean, not that The Young and the Restless was not always grossly popular, but I remember the year that song came out, they were actually using that as the music for The Young and the Restless on the daytime Emmys.
Oh
So
wow.
like when they won, I think they had won for like Best Soap Opera that year or something like that, or whatever the category is, where you're like the winner of that particular set of daytime TV watching. They played the Mary version.
That's crazy.
I almost, child, I think I cried
I'm about
because
to say, I bet you probably teared up a little bit because
you know how I feel about Mary.
right.
I thought her sampling that was so, because that could have went so wrong.
But this is, yes.
That could have been
Samples
so
are that on the
cheesy.
nose, could be cheesy,
Yes.
like what are we doing? But the way, because it's a produced record. No, let's start there. Because it's a produced record and not just throwing a sample over whatever beat, like it works. That's
Mhm.
like Mary left it all to feel in that song. Like
She did. Oh, she did. It's one of my faves.
like that. No, now I'm gonna get emotional. Let's move on because if we start talking about songs that sound like they should be on movie soundtracks or whatever, that are like so epic and so powerful and big that like you're like there has to be some other thing.
That's one of them.
Song like
Listen, that is one of them. And when they did that montage, because when they're showing who the nominees are, they show that montage of like all the crazy scenes, from the show. And then with The Young and the Restless, they got Mary in the background showing Victor acting up. Ugh. I was so here for
Victor Newman being a part. Okay.
Victor Newman, honey, listen. I don't know what that man has done to gain eternal life on this planet.
Listen.
But he is here and he is here to stay.
We're not here for anything else but that story.
I don't want to hear anything else.
Let me tell you, there are certain characters you gotta say their first and last name, and he is one of them. Like,
Victor is one of the reasons why I always loved the name Victor for a boy.
Yeah,
it's just a classic. Although I, coincidentally enough, am named after a soap opera star from another show, which is General Hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tristan Rogers, I think was his name, who later on ended up being on The Young and the Restless.
Well, listen, at some point, this people gonna jump.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, that was
menace on there too.
Almost. You said what now?
I said I think he was a menace on there too, if I recall.
That also tracks. Yeah. My brother was almost named Tristan over the same character. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he was. My mom also watched General Hospital and All My Children. I feel like you had to watch those. Like those were like,
yeah, those were the ones.
Those were the ones, Erica Kane and all that. Like you had to be,
Yeah.
And so yeah, she almost named him Tristan off of that character. That's so crazy. It's so crazy how that is a thing now. Then, as opposed to the thing now, but I don't know anybody who got named like Martin Payne. I don't know anyone who's been named like I don't know.
I think Game of Thrones is gonna give rise to a whole generation. Yeah, there's a lot of Khaleesi's out there because of Game of Thrones and Daenerys's and all of the names that come out of that. I think in about 10 more years,
people will be named Pikachu and like
okay,
Sailor Moon. Sailor is not a bad name.
Oh, Sailor is popular, actually.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, Sailor is one of those ones, the Hamptons. I feel like the Hamptons crowd has taken to the name Sailor. There's definitely a model whose kid's name is Sailor. I don't know if it's Cindy Crawford or Brooke Shields. One of those models, somebody famous, definitely named their kid Sailor, because I remember thinking, "Oh, that's so cute." Yeah, there's some stuff coming out of TV shows nowadays that I think we're going to see, in about 20 years or so. They'll be running this country.
Some pepper ends out there. We love it.
Ah, listen, don't rule it out because you know what Nara and Lucky's kids are named.
Oh God, yeah.
So
Well, we're sure some TikTok famous shorty or
somebody is definitely using pepper.
whatever
Don't
is
rule it out.
pepper and someone's gonna be named like Timeline or like
Algorithm.
algorithm.
Algo for sure.
Algo. You know what?
Listen, wearing me out, okay? Wearing
Say
me
the
out.
same thing. Yeah. Oh my goodness. That is funny. Yeah. Shout out to algos and rhythms everywhere, Rhythms. If you pronounce it correctly.
They're gonna be running shit one day. You heard it here first.
Indeed. Cool. Were there any other theme songs that you thought about?
I was thinking about what was the purpose of them changing the White Lotus theme song for this season.
Just to annoy people.
That wasn't necessary at all.
And it's already, we'll see what happens when it's over. But, this season has been one that people have been, it's a slower burn, right?
Mhm.
And it just doesn't, somehow it just feels less exciting. And I don't know if it's because the second one was just so good. First one, we didn't know what to expect. Second one was so good and also continuing characters.
Right.
So, okay, what's happening, And you were ultimately very suspicious of who done it and the behavior, right? With this season, it's you're kind of suspicious of the people and who they are, right? But yeah, that theme song is just I was so disappointed. I was like, what is this?
A lot of people were. I was watching that online and the comments were pretty consistent around that. Why did they do this? I was expecting, the old theme that we all know and love.
Mm-hmm.
They popped up with this new stuff and it's I guess. But you're right. The show has been kind of a slow burn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it's leading up to. I'm trying to hold on, but it definitely doesn't have the same fire as the last two. So
not at all.
See where it's going. I'm gonna hold on.
Yeah, I'm not ruling it out. I'm not gonna stop watching it. It's just very interesting to see where it is, But yeah, okay. So one theme song I had. I'm not even sure if it's a show you watched, but I really like the theme song from Scrubs.
I didn't watch Scrubs. I don't know that one.
Yeah, that one's a good one. That was one I had on my list. And then I had another worse, which was White Lotus, which you brought up. And I can't remember if we talked about the Orange and New Black theme song, but I do not like that one.
Yeah, no, that was one of your wait.
Yeah.
Let's listen to that whole episode. You mentioned that, and at first I couldn't remember how it went.
Yes.
But oh my gosh, yes, when it finally clicked in, I was like, oh yeah, that really was awful.
Really bad. Really, really bad.
Really, really bad. Oh,
Yeah.
which one popped up on my Instagram feed? And I was like, how the hell did I forget about this one? The Clueless TV show.
Oh my days.
Yes.
You forget that
So good.
That theme song. Okay. So theme songs again. That one I'm too excited. I can't even get my thoughts out. So what I was gonna say is one, love that theme song, always did. It also has this melancholy, sad quality to it that we did touch upon, where it's it's not sad, but something about it makes it.
Something about it gives it that kind of weird feeling. Yeah.
Yes. And so that one, they killed that. That was probably the best thing about that show was that theme song.
Stop. I thought the show was cute. For a reboot, I thought it was really cute.
They did the best they could with what they did. Right?
They had most of the cast, which helped.
Yeah.
Everybody came back except for Alicia Silverstone.
She said, yeah. And I think it was a different Josh, too.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
I think right. I think there was yeah. Because Paul Rudd definitely did not come back for that show. But yeah, she is literally the what is it? The
Polaroid
Polaroid
of
of
perfection.
perfection. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's everything, and she'll give it to
What
you
you
in
did
a
in a
second.
second. What she
It's
did. Yeah.
such, oh my gosh. I was like, yes, I used to think that was such a good one. So I'm glad that rolled up through the feed on Instagram some way. You know, these phones are always listening and
Listening.
watching
Of
stuff.
course. Did we mention Sweet Valley High?
We did not.
Because I feel like that, and I probably didn't because I probably didn't want to admit to people that I had watched that show. But so I had it tucked away. But no, forget that. I don't got nothing to prove, y'all. But yo, check it. Sweet Valley High is another one that theme song, like, oof, like, oh,
Yes,
very, very good. But yeah, that was
that
another one.
was a good
Like,
one.
that was NBC. Look, NBC. We might have to go back and say what network had the best theme songs. I feel like it's NBC,
I feel
but
like NBC is going to take it.
yeah, CBS never really got it. It's so I don't know beyond Young and the Restless. You know what I mean? Like because it wasn't Coach. You know what I'm saying? Like no ma'am, no sir.
It's crazy. Oh my gosh.
It wasn't Coach. I'd say that. Was it Murphy?
Yeah.
I like Murphy Brown's theme song.
I don't remember Murphy Brown's theme song.
Wait, am I mixing it up with Mad About You? Maybe I am, which was NBC.
Oh, you might be because Mad About You song went up. Yeah, that wasn't a good one.
Yeah, like give me a little jazz moment, and I am good
Yeah,
to
that one was a little groovy. That one was a little
Yep.
oh ew, damn. I forgot about that show in general until just now.
All right.
I definitely used to like that one.
Cool.
Oh, but
Uh,
that yeah, this I think we should like continue this theme of like doing little recaps of our favorite episodes because the conversations that come from them after the fact
yeah.
are just as fun as, the original conversation. So,
No, I agree. I agree. Yeah, it's good to reminisce and to let folks know we're still here. Even though it's summertime no, Chris, relax. It's springtime. I was like, Chris,
calm down, Mixie Malik.
I'm like, it just turned some spring,
Like literally a day ago.
like relax. But yeah, no, spring being here, we're still here. We still want to tap in, let people know that we appreciate what you have to say. And if you have, feedback on any of the episodes that you weren't able to, to give to us yet, like please do, DM us on Friends in Real Life on Instagram, same same username for TikTok. We're not going to talk about the other apps, but we're there. And then, of course, email friendsinreallife@gmail.com.
Yeah. In the comment section of our Spotify page and all that stuff, like we look at all of it. So holla at us.
All right. Well, let's see. You know what? Before we go, I know this is like very, very whatever, but we never did circle back on, and we don't have to do it now, but I wanted to bring it up. Circle back on who's going to play us in this movie. Well, now TV series in my head about us.
Oh yeah, we're coming back to that.
So I wanted to, if people had ideas on that, please put them in as well.
Yeah, we need to have a conversation about that. That deserves a follow up because some interesting names have been thrown around for you.
Every time. Look, your role is already cast. We know who's playing you.
He's so confused. So I'm like, okay, we need to definitely unpack these choices I've heard for you because I don't get some of them.
I'm like, Marseille Martin's a good actress, but let's get
okay, sir. Goodbye. And on that note,
I'm like, come on. And yes, her brother on the show, also a good actor, but Marcus Scrivener can't be it either. So we've got to figure it out. All right. On that note, until next time, peace out. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to y'all soon.
goodbye.